You ever walk into a restaurant, just trying to enjoy a nice meal with a friend, and suddenly find yourself in the middle of a full-blown Karen meltdown? Yeah, well, that was my Tuesday. It all started innocently enough. My friend Liv and I decided to treat ourselves. We're both pretty budget conscious, so hitting up our favorite, slightly upscale for us restaurant was a big deal. We'd been looking forward to it all week. But the moment we stepped inside, we could tell something was off. The place was absolutely packed, buzzing with a chaotic energy that usually isn't there. A harried-looking waiter, bless his soul, spotted us and rushed over. He explained they were swamped and asked if we'd mind sharing one of their big round tables with another family. We figured, hey, no biggie, we're easygoing, so we said, sure, why not, and followed him to the table. Now, this is where things went sideways. We slid into our seats, and before we could even glance at the menu, the mom from the other family, a woman I'll call Karen, slammed her hand on the table. Finally, she snapped, glaring directly at me. We've been waiting ages to order. What took you so long? Liv, ever the diplomat, started to say, oh, I'm afraid we just... But Karen cut her off sharp and loud. We're ready to order right now. Don't tell me you forgot us. Ma'am, she doesn't actually. Liv tried again, while one of Karen's daughters, who actually seemed mortified, mumbled something similar. Karen just scoffed. Nonsense, look at her outfit. She gestured vaguely at my clothes, a nice, casual top and jeans, nothing remotely uniform-like. Are you going to take our order or what? Do you not speak English? Is that it? Do I need to speak Chinese to you to get some service? My blood just boiled. I leaned forward, keeping my voice low but firm. Excuse me, lady. Just because I happen to be Chinese does not mean I work here. My friend and I are customers just like you. And let me tell you, that kind of assumption, especially when you throw in a racial jab, is incredibly offensive. Don't you ever do that to anyone again, suspected waiter or not. Karen's face went from indignant to absolutely enraged in about half a second. Excuse me, who do you think you are? You just made a huge gesture at me. That's practically assault. I'll have you fired for that. I'm sure the owner would love to hear that one of his employees attacked a customer. Liv had had enough. Hey, crazy, my friend does not work here, she stated, emphasizing each word. Karen rounded on me again. Get the F out of my sight and go get the effing owner or manager right now, you insubordinate little. Okay, I'll go find someone who can help you, Liv interjected, standing up. She shot me a reassuring look and disappeared into the bustling restaurant, probably trying to hunt down our original waiter. Big mistake. The moment Liv was gone, Karen seemed to decide I was fair game. She stood over me, leaning in close, and started a low, venomous stream of insults. I won't repeat the exact words, but they were all about my heritage, my place, and how people like me shouldn't be working in decent establishments anyway. She was getting louder, drawing stares, and I just felt this hot surge of humiliation and anger wash over me. Just then, Liv returned with our waiter, who looked utterly bewildered. Excuse me, ma'am, he began. What seems to be the problem here? Karen, instantly reverting to a sweet-as-pie victim act, put on her best trembling voice. This girl refused to take our order, then she assaulted me, and she's treated me and my family with the most utter disrespect. I demand to speak with the owner. Bring them out immediately. As if on cue, a figure emerged from the back office, the owner himself. He was a kind, older Chinese man, and he knew me well, as Liv and I were regulars. He strolled over, his brow furrowed with concern, surveying the scene. He looked at Karen, then at me, and then, to Karen's absolute shock, started speaking to me in fluent Chinese. I quickly explained everything, the assumption, the rude comments, the assault accusation, and then the escalating racial slurs once Liv had left. As I spoke, Karen's face went from pale to ghostly white. She finally grasped her massive mistake. She stammered, tried to backtrack, blubbering about a misunderstanding, but it was too late. The owner listened patiently, then turned to Karen, his voice quiet but firm. In perfect English, he told her that her behavior was completely unacceptable, that I was a valued customer, and that she and her family needed to leave his establishment immediately. No discussion. No excuses, just out. Karen, completely deflated, grabbed her family, and practically ran out the door, the mortified daughter still looking back apologetically. As for Liv and me, we were immediately whisked away to a secluded, private booth, given an apology that felt truly heartfelt, and treated to an entire free meal, appetizers, mains, and even dessert. It was the least the owner could do, he said. And you know what? Liv and I still eat there all the time. It's our spot. That woman, Karen, we haven't seen hide nor hair of her since. Guess some lessons stick. So yeah, next time you think someone's a waiter, maybe just ask. And definitely don't lead with racial slurs. It rarely ends well.
Okay, real talk, if you're still here after 2 of these chaotic Reddit tales, you're probably one of us. Go ahead, hit subscribe. It's free chaos every episode. Now, let's dive into story number 3.
All right, Reddit, buckle up. Kai here, and I've got a story that's gonna make your blood boil and then maybe, just maybe, give you a little satisfaction. Ever had one of those days where you're just trying to grab some damn groceries, minding your own business, and suddenly you're in a full-blown physical altercation at Wallyworld? Yeah, me too. So I'm a 35-year-old disabled Army veteran, and yeah, I deal with PTSD. I've been posting here for a while, and my tales usually hit hard, especially in r/IDontWorkHereLady. This one's a doozy. The other day I was at Wallyworld just trying to get some essentials. It was hot as hell in there, so my coats were off, draped over my roller, and my service dog was calmly by my side, my hearing aids out for repairs, which meant I was relying on lip reading and my dog's cues more than usual. I was using my cane to hook a couple of items off a high shelf, totally focused when it happened. 1 second I'm reaching for a box of cereal. The next, a sharp, violent yank on my ponytail rips my head back. Now I'm trained to react. Years of military service combined with the jumpiness PTSD sometimes gives you means my body moves before my brain can even register what just happened. My cane swung down, not quite hitting, but a warning. My elbow, a titanium-plated reflex from old injuries and training, flew back without conscious thought. I spun around, cane in a defensive stance, my heart hammering against my ribs, ready for a fight. My service dog, bless his heart, immediately tensed, letting out a low, protective growl. My vision swam for a second, a blur of fluorescent lights and product labels. Then, through the haze, I saw her, a woman, face twisted in a snarl, practically vibrating with rage. Let's call her Karen. She was screaming at me. I could see her mouth moving, spittle flying, but with my hearing aids out, it was just a muffled, terrifying roar. My blood went cold, then hot. Every instinct was screaming danger. "What the hell is wrong with you?" I yelled, my voice raw, the sound of it shocking even myself. I gripped my cane tighter, trying to make sense of the wild, angry contortions of her face. "I can't hear you. What do you want?" She just kept yelling, pointing a shaky finger at me, then at the empty shelf where I'd just gotten my items. "You lazy bum, why didn't you help me? You work here. I've been waiting for ages." My brain finally caught up. "I don't work here, lady. Are you insane? You just assaulted me." That's when I remembered my 911 alert button clipped to my belt. My thumb slammed it, a tiny, desperate beacon in the chaos. "I've been assaulted," I bellowed, trying to project over her continued shrieking, my voice cracking. My service dog started barking now, a deep, insistent sound trying to protect me. People were staring, a few brave souls were slowly approaching, looking horrified. Karen, meanwhile, was going from 0 to unhinged in about 3 seconds flat. She took a wild swing at me, missing by inches, thankfully. That's when the first Wallyworld employee, a young guy, came running up, looking utterly bewildered. The police showed up fast, honestly, bless them. They separated us immediately, whisking me into a back office while I could still hear Karen's indignant howls from somewhere down the aisle. My whole body was shaking, my PTSD finally catching up to the adrenaline rush. My service dog sat right at my feet, nudging my hand, a grounding presence. The officers were calm, professional. They asked me what happened, and I explained, trying to keep my voice steady. They went to review the camera footage. When they came back, their faces were grim. "Ma'am," one of them said, "the footage clearly shows her grabbing your hair and then attempting to strike you. Do you want to press charges?" I didn't even hesitate. "Yes, absolutely yes. I'm sick of this. I'm a veteran, I have PTSD, and I am not putting up with this kind of behavior from anyone." Apparently, Karen heard that through the thin walls, or maybe they'd brought her closer. because the next thing we heard was an unholy shriek, followed by the sound of scuffling and thumps. A cop poked his head in a bit wide-eyed. Looks like she's resisting arrest, kicking at officers. Seriously, some people just refuse to learn. Turns out this wasn't Karen's first rodeo. The police discovered she had a history, multiple reports of harassment, assault, and creating disturbances, both with customers and employees at various establishments. This time, with clear video evidence and resisting arrest, she was finally going to face some real consequences. Jail time, good. The store manager, who looked utterly mortified, came to apologize personally. He handed me a $250 gift card for my patience and cooperation, and my service dog. He got a whole cart full of various treats from a very grateful pet aisle employee, a true good boy who kept his cool. I accepted the apology and the gift card. It wasn't about the money, really. It was about seeing some semblance of justice served. It's frustrating, the constant assumption, the aggression, the disregard for others. But sometimes, just sometimes, the universe decides to balance the scales a little. So yeah, that's my latest adventure at Wallyworld. Stay safe out there, folks. And maybe, just maybe, think twice before you pull a stranger's hair because you think they're a lazy employee. You never know who you're messing with. I'll catch you all in the next story. Stay kind, or at least stay out of jail.
You ever just want to grab some cereal, maybe a decent loaf of bread, and get out of the grocery store? Yeah, me too. But sometimes the universe, in its infinite wisdom, decides to throw a full-blown Karen tantrum your way, all because she just couldn't wrap her head around the fact that I was busy helping my own family. Okay, so picture this. My family and I are at our local megamart. It's a big deal for us when we all go grocery shopping together because my incredible mom is paralyzed from the waist down. Most days she handles her motorized chair like a champ, but for a bigger outing, my dad, being the absolute best, was pushing her non-motorized chair. It gives him a bit of a workout, and Mom enjoys the change of pace, chatting away with him. My job, the designated runner, I'm usually zipping around, grabbing items from our list, then bringing them back to the cart attached to Mom's chair. We've got a system, and it works. So there I was, deep in the canned goods aisle, trying to distinguish between diced tomatoes and crushed when I heard it. A voice, not a polite "excuse me" or a curious "do you work here?" Nope. This was a full-throated, attention-demanding, "Hey, kid, you, toilet paper." I turned, still holding a can of tomatoes, and spotted her. Classic Karen trade, mid-40s, yoga pants stretched to their limit, a pristine Lululemon top, and a scowl that could curdle milk. She was practically vibrating with impatience, clutching a crumpled list in one hand. Me?" I asked, genuinely confused. I was wearing a band t-shirt and jeans, hardly store uniform. "Yes, you," she snapped, marching a few steps closer. "I've been looking for someone to help me find toilet paper for 5 minutes. It's an outrage. Now, stop dawdling and go get me the Mega Rolls 4-ply brand X." I blinked. "Look, ma'am, I don't work here," I said, trying to be polite. "I'm just helping my mom with her shopping." I gestured vaguely towards the front of the store where I'd last seen them. Karen scoffed, an actual theatrical scoff. "Oh, please, you're clearly pushing a cart around looking busy. Don't play dumb. Just because you're helping your mom doesn't mean you can't do your job. Now move it." She even made a shooing motion with her hand. My patience, already thin from a long week, started to fray. "Seriously, I don't work here. I'm not an employee. My mom's in a wheelchair and I'm getting things for her." I figured adding the detail about mom might make it click. It did not. "Oh, so you're too important to help a customer, is that it?" she snarled, stepping into my personal space. Her voice was getting louder, drawing a few curious glances from other shoppers. "Is that what they teach you here, to ignore people who need help?" "I am not an employee," I insisted, my voice rising a little too. "I'm not helping you. Get someone who actually works here." That's when she went from annoying to genuinely alarming. Her eyes narrowed into slits. "You listen here, you insolent little brat. I demand you get me what I need." Before I could react, she lunged. Her hand shot out, clamping around my arm with surprising strength. "Hey, let go of me," I yelled, trying to yank my arm back. Her grip was like a vice, and she started trying to pull me down the aisle, presumably towards the mythical toilet paper. I stumbled, scraping my arm against a shelf as I fought back. It felt like a tug-of-war, with me as the rope. Panic started to bubble in my chest. This woman was seriously strong and completely unhinged. "You're coming with me, you little ingrate," she hissed, digging her nails in. Just as I thought I might have to resort to kicking, I heard a calm, deep voice cut through the commotion. What in God's name is going on here? It was Dad, thank God. He'd rounded the corner, Mom right beside him, a concerned look on her face. Dad's eyes, usually warm and crinkling with a smile, were hard as stone as he took in the sight of Karen practically assaulting me. Karen, seeing him, instantly dropped my arm and started blustering. Oh, finally, an adult. Your son here refuses to help me find toilet paper. He's incredibly rude and lazy, and he said he doesn't work here, which is a lie. She pointed at me accusingly. My arm throbbed, and I rubbed the angry red marks forming on my skin. She grabbed me, Dad. She tried to drag me. Dad stepped between us, putting himself squarely in front of me. Ma'am, he said, his voice deceptively low, this is my son. He doesn't work here, and you just assaulted him. Karen gasped, clutching her chest. Assaulted? I merely tried to get him to do his job. He's probably slacking off because he thinks he's too good to help people. Just then, a store employee, a young guy named Mike who we'd seen around, hurried over, looking flustered. Is everything okay here? No, Mike, Dad replied, his gaze still fixed on Karen. This woman just physically attacked my son. He was helping his mother, who's in her wheelchair right there, and this woman insisted he was an employee. Mike's eyes widened as he looked at my arm, then at Karen, who was now turning a furious shade of crimson. Ma'am, he definitely doesn't work here. I'm going to have to call security. Before Mike could even pull out his radio, the store manager, a woman named Ms. Henderson, was already power-walking towards us, drawn by the ruckus. After Dad quickly explained, pointing to the scratches on my arm and Mom confirming my story, Ms. Henderson looked utterly disgusted. Ma'am, she said to Karen, her voice clipped and professional, we have security cameras throughout this store. I'm sure they'll show exactly what happened. I'm calling the police. You are no longer welcome in this establishment. Karen's face crumpled. The police? This is ridiculous. All I wanted was my toilet paper. This is an overreaction. I'm a paying customer, she wailed, but it was too late. The police arrived swiftly. They took our statements, spoke to Mike and Ms. Henderson, and then, sure enough, reviewed the security footage. There wasn't much to say after that. Karen, still protesting and crying about her rights and her toilet paper, was handcuffed and escorted out of the store, looking absolutely bewildered that her entitled tantrum had landed her in such serious trouble. We ended up getting our groceries eventually, but the mood was definitely dampened. My arm stung and the whole thing was just surreal. We never heard much more about Karen's legal woes, just that she faced charges for assault. But for us, the message was clear. You don't mess with a family just trying to have a normal day, especially not when one of them is busy being the best helper to their amazing mom. Some people just can't handle it when the world doesn't revolve around them.
Feel like keeping it going? Here's a solid pick.